Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ratna Andrea Putri Ardito,
I'm Sausanalian Razmi.
and we're going to explain about the adaptive software development in this presentation.
Adaptive Software Development or ASD is a direct outgrowth of past Agile framework, rapid application development. It aims to enable teams to quickly and effectively adapt to changing requirements or market needs by evolving their products with lightweight planning and continuous learning. The ASD approach encourages teams to develop according to a three-phase process, which is speculate, collaborate, and learn. So this is basically the same as before, but here we can see clearly that as the life cycle is shaped as a circle, which means that they are doing it continuously, like they continuously to learn, they continuously to speculate, and they continuously to uh, collaborate. So this is the first step of the life cycle. It is a speculation step. In this step, the project is initiated and they conduct the planning. And in this step, it requires the project requirements, user needs, customer vision statement, and etc. As they collect all of that to define set of release cycles that the project wants. So this is the second step. It is a collaboration step. In this step, they collaborate communication and teamwork, but at the same time, they should pay attention to individualism as individual creativity plays major role in creative thinking. Here, they suggest us things to do to keep the collaboration life cycle works well. The first one is criticize without animosity. For example, when someone have different argument with you, don't tell them that they are wrong with anger. The second one is assess without resentment, because we need to assess people that struggling with patience, and then work as hard as possible, obviously. And the last one is the most important thing, which is communicate. We need to communicate well with each other in order to find the best solution of the problems.
So the next step is learning. In this step, the workers may have an overestimate of their own understanding of the technology, and this can lead to unmatched desired result of the end product. So the learning phase helps them to increase their level of understanding over the project. They will use practices such as technical reviews, project retrospective, and customer focus groups. Here reviews should be done after each iterations. Both developers and customers examine their assumptions and use the results of each development cycle to learn the direction of the next step. Here, the teams will learn about like the product changes and how the products are going to be developed. And I think the iteration here needs to be short so that the team can learn from small rather than large mistakes. Next. Okay. Here we're going to talk about the pros and cons. So the advantages. So the first one is a better and stronger overall end product. This because the workers will fully understand their goals from all the steps before. And then the second one is to increase transparency between developers and the customer, because the adaptive software development requires close collaboration between the organization and the clients. Next, there are a user-first approach leading to a more intuitive piece of software, because the developers and the organization have to adapt to the changing demands of the clients for these projects. And the last one is that a higher likelihood of on-time or early delivery. This because of the repeating three steps before allows potential problems to be identified and will be solved earlier. The disadvantage of this ASD is that an extensive testing can lead to higher project costs because of the changes they do to keep meeting the client's demand. It is possible to keep testing the software, and this may lead to a very expensive cost. The next one is the level of user involvement required can be difficult to resource. This is because this project requires commitment from both sides, and this will impact the software quality. Next one is that an emphasis on constant product iteration and feedback can lead to a burnout. This is because if we keep changing to keep meeting the client's demand, the software may not work as best. And then lastly, ASD works better where teams can be dedicated solely to a single project because it demands a lot of user involvement and various teams together, causing a lot of and numerous interactions. This communication can be time consuming and require more focus and commitment. Um, so this ASD should be used by organizations who prioritize rapid products delivery and sees the value in continuously evolve their offerings. This should not be used by nor by the organizations who believe that it will be feasible to secure the user involvement, or the organization who are not willing to add expensive continuous testing throughout the development process. And then here we're going to compare between the adaptive SDLC and the predictive SDLC. I'm going to explain a little bit about the adaptive SDLC. So one of the example of the adaptive SDLC is an agile. The first point that we're going to compare is that in adaptive SDLC, there are no rigid expectations as how the final product might be turned out. So they will use adaptive approach only if the project is innovative and or exploratory in nature. And then the second point is that they have flexible design model, or in other words, the work can be easily adapt to a changing requirements based on new feedback received from the client. And then the third point is the emphasis on the people because it puts more focus on the present requirement. The first is that works better with small project because this doesn't require the workers to set a well-defined objectives and goals, and there will be a lot of changes, and it's not suitable for larger projects. And then the last one is that iterative process style because this life cycle is shaped as a circle diagrams. This means that this cycle will continuously to run until they meet the end of the product.
So now we're going to be talking about predictive SDLC. In this SDLC, the final deliverable product is very well defined because each stage in predictive SDLC has specific timelines and deliverables, which makes it easier for them to operate and to monitor the entire project. And the second point is that this SDLC is not flexible because there's little change of changes in the project parameters because any subsequent changes toward the end of the project will be very, very complicated and expensive. The third point is this SDLC emphasized on the process because they have a truly documented project development process to work with. That is why everything is really well defined here. And it works better when the project have a clear idea of possible changes beforehand because they already arrange everything at the start of this process. That is why they have a very clear vision of the possible changes. And the last one is it has a linear process style. One of the example of predictive SDLC is a waterfall. You can see that the waterfall process are shaped like a ladder. So yeah, it has a linear process style. So this is the references that we use. We put it in the description box below. Thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.